What's up, guys? Welcome back to Tech Tuesday! Woo!
Hey, guess what? Your car is spying on you.
You don't say.
Well, not necessarily, but if your car came out in the last couple years and has stuff like OnStar or something similar to it on it, yes, you're probably having your data collected by the car manufacturer, and there are basically no rules preventing them from doing whatever the hell they want with it.
Yeah, this comes from a 123-page study published by the British Columbia Freedom of Information and Privacy Association called The Connected Car, Who is in the Driver's Seat? Which makes the case that all the data being transmitted from connected cars could very easily be abused and exploited, and that the laws governing how this data is handled are way more lax than the laws governing more traditional forms of data.
Last year, a Ford executive told a panel at CES that, quote, "We know everyone who breaks the law, we know when you're doing it, we have GPS in your car so we know what you're doing. By the way, we don't supply that data to anyone."
Sure, yeah, he was really saving his ass. And then he did backtrack and said, "I absolutely left the wrong impression about how Ford operates. We do not track our customers in their cars without their approval or consent."
Which is absolutely meaningless these days, since the vast majority of tech users give all kinds of approval and consent every day, every time they check a box that says, "I have read the terms and conditions."
Yeah.
When they totally haven't read those terms and conditions.
Yeah, these kinds of systems are increasingly becoming standard features with names like Honda Link, Blue Link, Audi Connect, Mazda Connect, Uconnect, and of course, OnStar.
Now, cars recording data is nothing new. There's been simple computers in cars for decades, recording information about crashes and letting you know when to change your oil and check tire pressure and shit like that. But only in the last couple years has that data been able to be transmitted live, wirelessly.
Yeah. And now Chevy Malibu owners can enable a bunch of tracking apps to let their parents monitor their teens driving and give them a report card on it. And Hertz rental cars are having driver-facing cameras installed on them under the guise of being used for live customer service. Obviously, that's not what it's for. When have you needed customer service in a Hertz rental?
And why does it need to be face-to-face?
Yeah, I don't know.
Dumb. Well, anyway, the point of all these new features is presented as being in the driver's best interest, and sure, a lot of connected car features sound pretty damn cool and useful. But according to that report that we mentioned earlier, this is all moving very fast, and the law needs time to catch up.
Yeah, the report says, our review of connected car terms of service and privacy policies indicates that automakers are failing to meet their legal obligations under almost every principle of data protection law. What is needed in this industry are clear, specific, and relevant limits on collection, retention, use, and disclosure of personal customer data. We need industry-specific data protection regulations for the connected car industry. But so this is the thing is, even Progressive now has that tracker that monitors your safe driving and will lower your insurance rates based on that, but they don't say the other side of that, which is, if you drive dangerously, are they going to raise your rates?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of those things, like with all data monitoring, where it's like, well, if you're
doing nothing wrong,
if you're doing nothing wrong, this could work out in your benefit. And it's
I mean, I guess it sucks that they're watching you, but maybe this will result in safer driving overall because people will be less inclined to speed and do stupid shit.
Yeah, driving dangerously is a bad thing that kills people and shit. So.
Listen, we all just gotta have driverless cars. That'll be the final nail in the coffin anyway, so it'll be fine.
Take me out of the equation.
But anyway, speaking of how we're all just passively broadcasting everything about our lives to giant corporate data servers, it's finally here! Woo! Hello,
battery
Periscope.
power low.
Oh, you can charge your battery. Anyways, Periscope's here.
Yeah.
After feeling like, second-class citizens for 2 whole months, Android users can now use the internet's hottest and most pointless app, Periscope. Hi everyone on Periscope that's watching right now.
So Periscope launched on iOS exactly 2 months ago on March 26th, and since then iPhone users have been using the Twitter-owned video streaming app to share all of the mundane moments of their lives, just like this mundane moment, right?
Get out of here, Meerkat. Actually, we've been forced to use stuff like Meerkat, which is kind of the same thing, but they both came out at the same time and Twitter adopted this one, so obviously it's gonna win.
But today, that all changes, with Periscope arriving on the Google Play Store and us scrubs finally getting our hands on the app.
Even though it doesn't exactly work correctly for some users. Damn it!
Yeah.
So obviously we got a chance to mess around with it after doing a bunch of broadcasts like this one. And we checked out some other people that were streaming. It's a weird mix of people just sort of talking to the camera or filming the weather outside their house or driving. Don't want to. Now you're broadcasting not only that you're driving unsafe, but you're also doing it live.
I'm so mad that they're taking my data.
Yeah. By the way, how do they know I'm driving bad when I'm broadcasting on Periscope?
There's also some more useful streams of stuff. Like this morning, there was a press conference that the Cleveland Police Department was having about brutality and stuff like that.
Oh, those are the people that jumped on the hood and shot the people through their windshield, right?
Oh, is that what it was?
I think it was.
That's terrible. Anyway, so I guess at its best, it's a great way to share live video of important things happening in the world, and at its worst, it's just people staring at their phones, trying to think of something to say.
I don't know what to say right here.
It's making my arm weak and shaky.
Yeah, weird. Here, hold it for a second.
You take it.
Anyways, how the hell does Periscope for Android work on day one? Not great.
Not great at all.
They're clearly still working out the kinks, and watching streams on a desktop computer just gives you kind of a black screen. So, yeah, I haven't. Mine's been extremely glitchy for the most part. But if you want to follow us on Periscope, our names are the same as on Twitter, so follow us on both. Mine is @RickyFTW.
Mine's @eDewberry, same as our Twitters.
Yep.
So
let's put this down. All right, bye, guys. Thanks for joining us on Periscope. If you're out there, follow us on Periscope, and hopefully it'll be able to stream correctly soon, and we'll do lots of that. Boop, boop.
Anyway, let's talk about smartwatches. Ricky, you just got one.
Yeah, on sale Memorial Day. This is the Moto 360. I just got a message from Brett, actually. Don't know what that reference is. Anyways.
Anyway, smartwatches are quickly becoming that hot new piece of tech that you don't really need, but will probably get one anyway because peer pressure and marketing are a real bitch. And they always been.
The fact that they're going to be coming out with the second versions of this, that's why it's so cheap right now. This was dirt cheap. Anyway, one of the inherent problems with smartwatches is the screen being so small, making navigation somewhat clumsy and awkward. I mean, Apple's solution to this was the digital crown, but a new invention by Deus Ex Technology is aiming to make controlling a smartwatch a one-handed operation, much like masturbating.
Yeah, it's called the Aria, and it's a small add-on that you slip under the watch band, and it allows you to control the watch using a bunch of gestures with the fingers of your hand. The watch goes on, like tapping, flicking, closing, and opening your hand, etc.
Yeah, it's cool. It's pretty genius. Since the tendons in your fingers go all the way back to your wrist, allowing a device like this that is only making contact with your wrist to have a pretty good idea what your fingers are doing, it's a smart idea.
You ever see that nasty like GIF?
Where
they pull the tendons and it like, ugh. Body's gross. Anyway, this is still really early, and the Kickstarter where you can order one doesn't even exist yet, though they say it will soon.
Yeah.
And sorry, Apple Watch owners, looks like you're stuck with your digital crown because the Aria will only be able to control Android Wear and Pebble time watches.
Oh yeah, I can do my, I don't even need the Apple Watch because I have the Mickey
Dancing
Mouse.
Mickey.
Yeah, I got the Dancing Mickey that everyone was going nuts for on the Apple
Would you
Watch.
look at that? The Mickey's dancing. I'm Tim Cook.
Oh man, that
Oh
Mickey
my
Mouse.
gosh.
That Mickey Mouse is dancing.
He's dancing.
Oh, he's tapping his foot.
Okay. Well, anyway, speaking
Back
of
to my other watch face here.
Speaking of advances in the field of like body tracking tech, the people at Oculus have showed off some new tech that they developed with researchers at the University of Southern California that would solve a big problem with the whole social aspect of VR. We're talking about face tracking.
Yeah, Facebook obviously saw the potential social value of Oculus Rift when they dropped an assload of money to buy it, but in order for true social immersion to happen in the Rift, there needs to be a way to control your avatar's facial expression so you're not just talking to a bunch of stone-faced digital robots.
Hello, friend.
Hello.
So they seem to have solved this, or at least paved the way for a solution with this new set of attachments for the headset. There's a Kinect-style tracking camera that juts out of the front of the headset like an elephant's nose. Not really cosmetically pleasing. And within the headset itself are 8 strain gauges that pick up on movements around your eyes and sort of measure the muscles.
You put all that tracking data together and you get a pretty decent translation of whatever facial expression the user is making. It'll need to be a lot more detailed to truly mimic the complexity of the human face, but this is a great start.
Yeah, people working on this specific project say that it's basically just for research at this point. It's not for a specific product.
Yeah.
But what they learned from messing around with this is almost certainly going to go into an actual consumer device somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
Although with the timeline of Oculus stuff, it's like, they haven't even released the damn headset.
Whatever, they gotta get something out to market. It's like, these things aren't perfect, but you get it out there and you get actual user feedback on how it's working, and then you're able to develop from there, so it's smart.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of VR, let's close out this episode with a cool video from the world of tech. VR developer Mac Colley has taken the worlds of 19th century fine art and 21st century technology and gone ahead and mashed them up in an awesome way by taking Vincent van Gogh's The Night Cafe and faithfully recreating it in 3D.
Yeah, he made it as part of an Oculus-sponsored jam-style contest where a bunch of devs are competing for prize money by submitting different VR experiences that they created specifically for the Samsung Gear VR.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts seeing the iconic style of Van Gogh recreated as a 3D world that you can walk around in and explore, and I really, really hope that more VR developers are trying their hand at stuff like this.
Yeah, like
cool
walking around in a painting, that's so fucking cool.
Man, people are gonna have a ball with these things and some drugs.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's the future. Anyways, guys, check out other content over here. We tried out a new show today where it's just like we do little short news stories.
Quick squirt.
And put them out there, little quick squirts. So check that out and don't hate us for doing it. We're just trying to get you more content. So check those out and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.